Good morning, everyone. I will call to order the May 2nd, 2024 Clackamas County Board of Commissioners business meeting. Administrator Gary Schmidt, would you please call the roll?
Yes, thank you, Chair Smith. First, our staff support today. Clerk to the Board, Tony Mayernick. County Counsel is Assistant County Counsel, Jeff Munns. Roll call online, Commissioner Schrader.
Here.
Also online, Commissioner West.
Here.
In the room, Commissioner Savas.
Present.
Commissioner Shull.
Here.
Chair Smith.
Here. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everyone. We are holding this meeting in person and virtually. If you joined us via Zoom for this meeting and are interested in providing public comment, we will prompt you when to do that when the time is right. General public comment will be taken at the usual allotted time. I would like to remind all participants, including staff, elected officials, and members of the public, that Robert's Rules of Order will be followed in this business meeting. We welcome your opinions and look forward to your polite participation. Gary, can you introduce the first item, please?
Yes, Chair. First is the consent agenda. Tony, would you please read the consent agenda?
Consent agenda, elected officials, item 1, approval of previous business meeting minutes for the Board of County Commissioners. Technology services, item 1, approval of a board order to issue a purchase order with SHI for cloud storage services through Wasabi under a cooperative contract. Purchase order value is $180,697.24 over 2 years. Funding is through county allocated ARPA funds. No county general funds are involved. Finance, item 1, approval of a public improvement contract with Aladdin Heating for the replacement of the 105-ton heating, ventilation, and air conditioning unit on the Lake Road Health Center. Total contract value $359,000. Funding through Health Center's fund balance. No county general funds are involved. Item 2, approval of a goods and services contract with Johnson Controls for the replacement of the building automation system at the Lake Road Health Center. Total contract value $399,500. Funding through Health Center's fund balance. No county general funds are involved. Transportation and Development, item 1, approval of the 2023-2025 Climate Friendly and Equitable Communities Grant Agreement with the Department of Land Conservation and Development for the Equitable Engagement Framework for the Transportation System Plan Update Project. Grant value is $88,500 for 14 months. Funding through the Oregon Department of Land Conservation and Development. No county general funds are involved. Item 2, approval of amendment number 6 to a contract with Consor North America Incorporated for the Jennings Avenue, Oregon 99 East to Field Road Project. Amendment value $196,324.87 in 18 months. Total contract value is now not to exceed $1,476,925.49. Funding through Federal Surface Transportation Program, county allocated ARPA funds, and county road funds. No county general funds are involved. Item 3, approval of a public improvement contract with N8 Homeland Incorporated for the 362nd Avenue Paved Shoulders and Safety Improvement Project. Total contract value $1,653,153 for 14 months. Funding through Community Road Funds, Oregon House Bill 2017 Safety Funds, and Transportation System Development Charges. No county general funds are involved. Health, Housing, Human Services, item 1, approval of amendment number 2, updating the language, extending the duration, and increasing funding of a personal services contract with MTR Western LLC for the operation of the last mile shuttle services. Amendment value is $1,118,569.68 for 1 year. Total contract value increased to $3,074,937.82 for 3 years. Funding is through statewide transportation improvement funds. No county general funds are involved. Item 2, approval of amendment number 2, increasing funding of an intergovernmental agreement with the Oregon Health Authority for the financing of community mental health, addiction treatment, recovery and prevention, and problem gambling services. Amendment value is $10,000 for 18 months. Agreement values increased to $15,854,233.26 for 18 months. Funding is through the Oregon Health Authority. No county general funds are involved. Item 3, approval of amendment number 7, modifying the award, increasing funding of the revenue intergovernmental agreement with the Oregon Health Authority for the financing of public health services. Amendment value is $297,534.33 for 17 months. Agreement value is increased to $6,261,997 for 2 years. Funding through federal and state grants. No county general funds are involved. Madam Chair, that concludes the list.
Thank you, Tony. Does any commissioner wish to remove any item off the consent agenda? I'll entertain a motion.
Approve the consent agenda?
Seconded.
Commissioner Savas has moved for approval of the consent agenda, and Commissioner Shull has seconded that motion. Any further discussion? Would the clerk please take the poll?
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Schrader.
Aye.
Commissioner Shull.
Aye.
Commissioner Savas.
Aye.
Chair Smith.
Aye, motion passes 5-0. Thank you very much. We are already at public communication. We have lots of time for that today. I want to thank all the people who have come today. The portion of the agenda shall be limited to items of county business which are properly the object of board consideration and should be nonpartisan in nature, as the BCC is a nonpartisan governing body under Oregon Revised Statutes and County Code. Testimony is limited to 3 minutes. Comments shall be respectful and courteous to all. As a reminder, you can email submissions for public communication at bcc@clackamas.us, and these will be accepted as part of the record. I will now open the meeting for public testimony. I will take in-person testimony first, and I have several cards. In no particular order. By the way, I do not mix up the order, because somebody asked me at a meeting the other night. I'm just going to take a moment because we have time. Tootie, do you mix up the order of the cards? And I said, seriously? No, I don't. The clerk gives them to me. I read them off the top. Although we've had people say, I would like to have the order of this, of this, of this, which is fine because it's usually on a very specific topic that the board is dealing with, so I just do it. I mean, really, y'all get to come talk and say what you want. It doesn't matter, you know, what order of the dance it is. It really doesn't. So, just wanted to have a point of clarification on that. First up, Mitzi Bauer. State your name, your area of residence, please.
Thank you. Is this on?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Mitzi Bauer. My address is 10145 Southeast 131st Avenue, Happy Valley.
Pull it closer, please.
Closer. Okay. Yeah, thanks for this opportunity. And I'm here to just remind people that are listening about the Wichita Center, what it provides for our low-income families. It has a McKinty-Vento services to unhoused students, North Clackamas Food Pantry, the WIC Nutrition Program, North Clackamas Clothes Closet, Head Start, Ready, Set, Go preschool, North Clackamas Dental Program, Clackamas County Behavior Health, North Clackamas Education Foundation, Summer Enrichment Programs, After-School Programs. Last year, these programs served 15,300 visits from low-income children across our community, and it serves children from 32 schools. But I also want to thank you for the updated joint statement between the district and the county. It was very positive, and I just want to read it because it really gets into working collaborative and continuing the operations. North Clackamas School District recently requested a third-party appraisal for the value of the Wichita property. Alongside other evaluations and assessment, it will help guide our conversations. That assessment has been shared with North Clackamas Parks and Recreation Board and staff. Both organizations have reviewed the appraisal and continue to work collaboratively toward a mutual outcome that will continue the operations of the services currently offered at Wichita. We have made progress, and we are confident that a final resolution is forthcoming. While the current agreement ends June 30th, parties are discussing a contract extension to assure the services are not interrupted and to allow for all details to be thoroughly vetted and finalized. The details of the main points of a potential agreement will be discussed and voted on in an upcoming public meetings. Announcements will be made when those public meetings will be held. We thank the community, staff, and patrons of Clackamas County for their patience as we work through these critical issues. So thank you for that updated, and I'm hopeful that this will get solved soon, and thank you for your cooperation and the collaborative work and the public, and transparency too for the public meetings. Thank you for that.
Well, and thank you for your update. And we have a couple more cards on the same topic. If you don't mind, I'm just going to have Jeff Munns, if you want to update since the last update, if you would.
Sure. No, this joint statement is a good summary of where we're at. We had a very productive meeting with representatives from the North Clackamas School District last week. County Administrator Gary Schmidt, Commissioner Savas, and myself met with your representatives, and it was a very friendly, positive meeting, and we're making headway and hope to have a counteroffer to them and continue this work. But, yeah, I don't see any likely chance of displacing those services. We're continuing to work through that.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Metsi. Up next, Leslie Robinette. Please state your name, your area of residence, and you have 3 minutes.
Good morning. My name is Leslie Robinette. I'm a resident of the North Clackamas Parks District and the North Clackamas School District. I want to thank you for your work to negotiate the sale of the Wichita Center property to North Clackamas Schools. I'm encouraged to see that conversations are continuing. For months, hundreds of families across North Clackamas have been anxiously waiting and watching to see whether you will reach a deal by June so the social services they rely on can continue without interruption. Wichita's food pantry, clothes closet, health care, and homeless services serve as a vital lifeline to vulnerable children in 32 schools. Because both the buyer and the seller in this negotiation are public agencies, you have a special obligation to work out a fair and affordable deal in the best interests of our schools and our parks. Our community has a stake in both sides of this deal. I urge you to push forward on the sale of Wichita to North Clackamas Schools as quickly as possible so children can continue to get the services they need. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for coming forward. Up next, Christine Kennedy. Please introduce yourself, your area of residence, and you have 3 minutes.
Good morning. My name's Christine Kennedy. I live in Lake Oswego. I have 2 grandchildren that go to school in the Hallinan neighborhood, and the last time I was here to speak to the group was after the storm, and my son and his partner were looking for a home, and they looked all over many counties, let's just put it that way. So they recently have moved into their home, and I'm very happy for them. They looked very hard for a home. It's not in Clackamas County. They did look in Clackamas County. But I do live in Clackamas County, and I care about this county. And when I found out about the issues with Wichita Center, it was really disturbing to me, because here I was with 2 working grown children with a child wanting to create a life for themselves. And this is a really difficult time for people to do that. And I hope that Clackamas County will continue the efforts. This work toward funding Wichita Center, completing the sale. June's coming up pretty quickly. I know my son and his partner right now, they're already worried about, how are they going to manage childcare for the summer. And I do drive, and I do provide childcare 1 day a week. And I love to do that, but not everybody has that opportunity. Some grandparents do it full-time.
Right.
So I thank you for your work to do this. I urge all speed in terms of making this decision and working this out. And I thank you for your time this morning.
Thanks, Christine, for offering childcare, because I have friends that are in our collective ages that have grandkids, and they're stepping up to the plate and offering 1 or 2 days a week for childcare for their children, and I think it's great.
Well, I'm reminded frequently, it's more than childcare.
Oh, yeah.
So as a full-time working mother, raising kids back in the day, I'm glad to be able to do this.
Oh, I know. And the
Thank you very
security,
much.
security and safety too. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Up next, Don Kingsborough. Please come forward, state your name, your area of residence.
Good morning. My name is Don Kingsborough. I live in West Lynn, and I am representing the Clackamas Pomona Grange this morning. I'm not asking you for anything. When we were here last month, we were supposed to bring books, and we had an emergency with one of our people, so we didn't have the books. So yesterday, I went to the author of the book, and I got her to sign each copy. Each of you have a copy made out to you of the history of the Oregon State Grange.
Wow.
The only other thing I'm going to say is we have breakfast at Beaver Creek Grange on Saturday and breakfast at Springwater Grange, and if y'all come, you'll have the best breakfast in Clackamas County.
Yeah.
That's it.
Don, do you have the books with you?
I gave them to Tony.
Is a photo in order?
That's what?
Did you say a photo was in order?
Yes, but Tony said it would be after your meeting.
Okay, very good. I'm
So
just
I'm gonna
making
stay here
sure,
and I'm gonna
making sure that I didn't mess up.
No,
on
you
the
didn't mess up.
Okay.
Nope, not at all, Tootie. Nope.
Okay, after the meeting, we can take a photo. Don, thank you for that. You
Oh,
know, my
thank you.
family has been lifelong Grange members. My folks grew up in the Grange, and I've been a Grange member, so this is going to be very interesting.
I think you'll find the book very interesting, yes.
Okay,
And if you come to breakfast, you'll find it wonderful.
I'm sure I will. And those pancakes will add to my waistline, I'm sure.
Well, a moment on the lips, a lifetime on the hips, but
Okay, all righty.
all right.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you.
Tony, is there anyone online?
Not that wishes to testify, ma'am.
Is that it? Oh. Now, we'll close the public communication portion of this meeting, and we will move on. Gary, what's up?
Thank you, Chair. Next is County Administrator Update. That's me. I like to recognize our employees for their excellent work during my time. First, today I want to honor Robin Dawson, who is one of our librarians who works both at Gladstone and Oak Lodge Libraries. She's an employee of Clackamas County through our Transportation and Development Department. Robin was named 2024 Library Employee of the Year for the state of Oregon by the Oregon Library Association. Robin was recognized for her work with libraries since she joined the county team in 2020, including helping to bring cohesiveness to the staff and stakeholders of those two libraries, implementing safety measures for staff during the COVID pandemic, and collaborating with community partners. This is a high honor, so thank you and congratulations to Robin, our Library Employee of the Year for the state of Oregon, right here in Clackamas County, and all of our library staff who work so hard to serve our community. Next, District Attorney John Wentworth gave me permission to read to you this statement about an award he recently gave out. So what I'm about to read is from District Attorney John Wentworth. At our second annual Honoring Crime Victims event in Liberty Plaza last week, I presented to Clackamas County Juvenile Department Director Christina McMahon the District Attorney's Leadership Award. This was my way of acknowledging Christina's amazing collaboration with my office by recognizing a public safety need, the staffing needed to fully prosecute family violence, and addressing that need by providing the District Attorney's Office with a position and funding to staff that need. This award is of special significance in my office as I have adopted issuing silver challenge coins to folks who demonstrate exemplary efforts in certain areas. I also have gold challenge coins that I hold specially for those who go above and beyond even that standard. Prior to this event, I have only handed out 4 of those gold challenge coins, and each have gone to individuals who are retiring from my office who have given a lifetime of service that we each should try to emulate. At this event, I handed out my 5th gold challenge coin to Christina McMahon for her exemplary service, even though she has many years to go before retirement. So you may recall, Commissioners, at the budget meetings last May, we shared this with you. Christina voluntarily, on her own, gave up some of her general funds to John Wentworth in the District Attorney's Office because he had a need that she felt was greater than the need she had in her juvenile department, although her needs are tremendous. And I'm so proud of Christina. I don't get this from my department directors, I don't. I want to acknowledge what she did voluntarily. I didn't ask her or pressure her. nor to the district attorney, but he let her know what he needed, and she voluntarily chose to do that in service to the overall organization. So thank you to Christina McMahon, thank you to John Wentworth for recognizing her, and thank you to the exemplary employees who work at Clackamas County, and these are just a few examples today. Thank you very much, Commissioners.
I remember that, I'm sure we all do during the budget, and the fact that he went the extra mile to thank her in a very public way is very heartfelt. Very good. Up next is Commissioner Communication. I believe Commissioner West, you're up.
Thank you, Chair. And I really appreciate people coming and sharing their thoughts today regarding the Wichita School. I know we're trying to find a collaborative solution with that benefits the overall health and well-being, not of just the Parks District, but of the services that are provided at the Wichita Center. A lot of progress has been made, and I think there's a lot of collaboration that's continuing moving forward. So thank you for your concerns. We share your concerns to try to make sure that we can find a win-win for everybody. I don't have much else to say today, Chair. I will be back into the office next week, and I will be back on the dais next week, but I appreciate the opportunity to attend this meeting virtually.
Thank you. Up next, Commissioner Savas.
Yeah, yesterday afternoon, I had the opportunity, along with Commissioner Scholl as well, to visit, the ribbon cutting for the Cascadia Health, I guess the Talbert Center is called, in Happy Valley area. And I learned more about Cascadia, I didn't know, but what they're basically providing there is both physical and behavioral health services there in a former medical facility. So it was nice to meet some people, former county employee as well. It was very nice. But I also learned that they have been actually making investments in single-family homes where they have housed people with behavioral mental health challenges. I didn't know the depth of that and of their history. So it was really fascinating. This morning I went out to and went to the State of the City in Tualatin. And for those people who don't know, a small percentage of Tualatin is in Clackamas County, and a majority of it is in Washington County. But I also saw some former county employees as well. So, we have people, as people, migrate from one position to another around the region. It's always just good to see people interface. But it was nice, frankly, it is a reminder that every jurisdiction has its challenges, and we're always trying to do our best on behalf of the citizens. Housing and transportation is their number one challenge, and in a community in which it's hard to find a home under $700,000, new homes are opening at $800,000, and yet they have a very diverse population. So they don't have the demographics on the income levels, but I would assume that most people can't afford to buy a brand new home. What they're doing out there, they have new housing, they call it permanent public housing, or permanent affordable housing. What's unique about it is that it's actually designed for families in which that 2, 3, and 4 bedroom homes or apartments is what they're providing. And so meeting that need for families, often when we do these affordable housing projects, whether it's with Metro funds or not Metro funds or Housing Authority funds, they're single or 2 bedroom. Very rarely are they 3 and 4.
That's right.
So that was fascinating. But had a productive week and look forward to next week and to tackle that. I appreciate the discussion, a good discussion on Tuesday regarding the definitions and the issues around what is a structurally sound or structurally sustainable budget, all those terms. I was glad that we got to clear the air on that. I have also learned from this morning's event, and is that it's political season. We're Clackamas County this morning. The majority of the people that were there were Washington County folks, either in office or running for office, as well as members of the community and the Chamber of Commerce that were there in Tualatin. But it's always a reminder that either misunderstandings combination or lead to sometimes misstatements. But we're not alone. It's nationwide. And I just tell people, well, you're not running for office. I go, that's true. I got another 2 years before my term expires and an opportunity to consider rerunning. But the biggest part is it's just as painful. It's just as painful when you hear misstatements made and people get upset or worked up over something that either has no merit or is not fully understood. So it's usually certainly more personal and painful for the candidates who are running when they're being attacked, regardless of which side you're on. But I just hope the next 3 weeks goes quickly.
Ditto, Commissioner Savas, on that. Thank you. Commissioner Schrader, you're up next.
Well, thank you, colleagues. I'm going to have a busy week this week. This afternoon, I'm going to be visiting with the Oregon City Chamber. They can continue to voice their concern about plans for the courthouse in downtown Oregon City. And I assure them that we are going to be acting cooperatively with them. So their downtown core stays vital as we eventually move our folks up to the top of the hill to the new courthouse. I also really appreciated the budget clarification the other day. I have asked staff to pull together a white paper one-pager with all of that information. So I have it on hand. I think it was one of the best explanations I've heard concerning a very complicated P3 model, because people, at least in Oregon, I believe, were the first folks to use that model for construction, despite the fact that it has been used throughout the United States, as well as on 3 other courthouses. So when I get that information, I'll make sure you get it. The other thing I'd like to let you know is I'm planning to be in the Teddy Bear Parade on Saturday the 4th in Oregon City. I do that every year, and I'll be visiting with Denise McGriff, the mayor of Oregon City. Every year I try and ride with her in her car, and it's a great event, and I've been doing it for many years. And also that evening, I'm going to have a great Italian dinner. It's one that I'm not cooking, for a change, by the way, at the Milwaukee Center, and that is to help raise money and funds for that center. And then Sunday, we have a candidates forum at one of our favorite places that we mentioned, the Grange, today, and I'm thrilled to get that book. There'll be a candidates forum on the Abernathy Grange, and that will be in Harley Avenue in Oregon City on Sunday the 5th. So that's the news from me. I continue to work on all my National Association of County duties that I have, as well as working with our workforce board, not only at the local level, but the state level as well. And yes, I have to be honest, colleagues, I cannot wait for this campaign season to be over. It just tires you out. The good news, I will tell you, is I have a very cordial relationship with both of the individuals who are running for the seat. I work with Braver Angels, and that is a group committed to basically having civil discourse in our communities. And because I really believe in their precepts, and I believe that's the way we need to conduct ourselves in our communities, actually, I think no matter what happens in this election, I think I'm going to walk away with 2 friends. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. And I hope they're listening today, because we have kept it cordial and upbeat and really gotten to know each other. So that's all you have for me today, and I'm going to mute because there is a barking dog once again in the background. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Schrader. Commissioner Scholl, you're up.
Yes, good morning, Clackamas County. Today is National Prayer Day. National Prayer Day started in 1952 when President Truman saw the need for such a thing. And then President Reagan, it was originally on 4th of July, and President Reagan moved it to the first Thursday of May. So this is a time in Oregon where 50 cities are having events today on National Prayer Day. And this is a time where people the state and the county can get together regardless of their politics and gather in unity to seek wisdom and guidance in order that we might make a better world, a better nation, a better state, and a better county. So please get involved with that. OregonFaithReport.com. You can go to that and find out where all the activities are in your area. Federal law has profound effects on our county. Bad laws hurt us, good laws help us. And I'm very happy to report that President Biden has recently signed into effect a law called the Fend-Off Fentanyl Law, which was introduced in part by our own Representative Lori Chavez de Remer. And this is going to be, well, actually, it's something that I've been waiting for the federal government to do for a long time. And what this law, this act, Fend-Off Fentanyl Act will do, it will increase combat of problems that are causing this fentanyl crisis by targeting the illicit drug global supply chain. And also the Treasury Department will target and block financial assets from transnational criminal organizations from China to cartels operating in Mexico and in the United States. This is very positive. This year alone, our law enforcement in Oregon have apprehended more fentanyl pills than in all of 2023, and Oregon still has the highest death rate from fentanyl. So this is a very welcomed law. Thank you, Representative Lori Chavez de Remer, for your work on that. This morning, just a few miles away, we have some anarchy happening on the Portland State University campus. It's very upsetting because 21,000 young students who aspire to get an education have now been blocked from doing that, while just a few anarchists control the library there. I'm reminded just a few years ago in Seattle, the Seattle Autonomous Zone stood for months, and inside of it, crime, to include murder, happened. But finally, when law enforcement finally got the grit to stop it, it only took 3 or 4 hours to go in there and stop the whole thing. And so, like I mentioned many times before, law and order has got to be consistent, 24/7, 365, with no exceptions. And that's what we have in Clackamas County, and I am very thankful to our sheriff and our police departments in this county for their outstanding work. Commissioner Savas mentioned that we had the pleasure of being at the Talbert Health Center opening on Sunnyside Road yesterday. I was very impressed with the staff there from Cascadia Health. It's going to be a great asset. Medical and mental services will be provided. Also, for mothers who have children, there's provision there to take care of the kids while the mother's receiving medical care. This is a clinic for people who do not have insurance. It'll be a great asset in addition to the health clinics that the county provides. So they don't have dental yet, but for that, we do have services in our county health clinics, medical, dental, and mental health. And you can go to clackamas.us/health centers to find out more about a health center near you. On the ballots that are coming out now, they started coming out yesterday from our county clerk, and I would like to thank Clerk McMullen. She's been doing a great job. It's a very difficult job, and so things seem to be going well. But on ballots throughout the state of Oregon, this May primary, there are 60 measures, 60 new tax measures in the state. And I asked people to really consider these measures. Some of them you might feel that you need to support, but I asked people to stop and think about every new tax and what the effects might be on people who are already suffering from a heavy tax load. And one of those examples would be a measure in the Bend, Prineville area that's going to potentially increase property taxes to people who cannot pay their property taxes now. And so I'm concerned about the effects on some of these measures on senior citizens and their ability to stay in their homes. So please look at those measures very carefully. I'd like to mention something from President Reagan. People know that I'm always very concerned about the increasing costs of government, and those increasing costs are already impacting our families and small businesses. So President Reagan once said, "I hope we once again have reminded people that man is not free unless government is limited. There's a clear cause and effect here that is as neat and predictable as a law of physics. As government expands, liberty contracts." President Reagan. So, and also Henry David Thoreau once said that that government is best which governs least. So next month, or actually this month, the last week of this month, we will be in our budget week, and I look forward to that and the work that the county administrator has done, and all the staff in working to have an efficient and effective county government. With that, I thank you all for your time.
Oh, thank you, Commissioner Scholl. Very nice. As my continuing saga, I feel like I have to report on this every week because something new happens every week with Metro's quest and appetite to increase our taxes even further. And the supported housing services measure, which passed just three years ago, a 10-year bond to end homelessness. We are in year 3, and Metro, as you know, wants to make it permanent. Well, a permanent tax is a tax increase. So this week, yesterday, day before, I had the opportunity to go over the new poll questions. They're going to ask us a new poll, but they're trying to jigger the questions so they can get a positive answer, so when they refer this measure in November, they can say, county residents say that we should have a new tax increase. And one of the questions is this. Now, I want you to prepare and listen to my language. How do you judge the county's inability to deliver services? You understand? They asked the negative. They implanted a negative into the minds of people. So people would say, oh, counties are doing a bad job. Instead of asking the question, how do you judge the county's ability to provide homeless services? And I asked that to be stricken from Andy Shaw, who is conducting the online little chat with us, and we'll see what happens. So throughout this process, I have been challenging Metro on their questions, and we've been in arguments over with a couple Metro counselors on that. And I says, you're being very dishonest in your questions, offering this up and thinking this is going to happen. I will say the chairs from all 3 counties, myself, Washington and Multnomah, are steadfast against this. Because the assumption is that there's $100 million per year laying around extra money that we're not using to put out, and Metro wants it. And it's a money grab. Make no mistake, this is a money grab for Metro. They are in line to hire 77 new people to do what? They don't deliver housing. The counties have always delivered housing. Counties have always been the boots on the ground. And I am just absolutely distraught at the dishonesty and the money grab going on from the regional government in northern Oregon. It's just awful. So I'll continue to be fighting that. Talking about campaigns, you know, campaigns can bring out the best in us or they can bring out the worst of us. I like to campaign on the common good and of Clackamas County. All we have done, we've had tremendous success in Clackamas County, and we're able to build, you know, a $300 million courthouse without raising taxes. We did extraordinary budget work from the commissioners, from Gary, our staff, our finance department, and we didn't make no cuts in that. We eliminated waste, found redundancies, and we're able to put some positions out of general fund into other funds, and those employees are still here. But when you're constantly being lied about they should have gone out for a tax increase, or whoever thought not raising taxes on our citizens was bad, just be very mindful when you hear something about the county budget. It's probably a lie, and I'll continue to fight for the goodwill of Clackamas County citizens to give the services that they can. If we are able to, we've done a very good job, and to keep our budgets in line so we don't raise taxes. Any tax increase you may see on your property tax statement is usually something voted on by taxpayers. The most recent is the fire bond. In Molalla, they decided to build a new police station, and there's several school levies and bonds that are coming up in November, and that's your decision whether you want to do that or not. I'm not here to say vote nay or yay on something that you may want and you're willing to pay taxes on, but please understand, this Board of County Commissioners does not raise taxes. Matter of fact, we can't. It's not our governance model. Any tax increase would have to be referred to the voters. So just know that, and thank you. Seeing no further discussion before this commission, we are adjourned.